What's up, everybody? Welcome to this amazing podcast that we have. I'm Vince Perri, your entrepreneur, business broker, exit strategist, and today we've got an amazing guest. Her name is Kelly Crowe. She's the owner of Pathways of Florida, and she's a licensed mental health counselor. For those of you that know my story, this is something that actually hits deep with me because I went through some things at a rock bottom moment in 2023, 2024, where I actually had to go seek therapy. So I understand its importance, and I also am very aware of the mental health issue that we have in this world. And I do believe people like Kelly is very important for us to continue to thrive as a society. So I want you guys to really enjoy this episode because we get deep into what you need to do as an entrepreneur and as a parent to make sure that you're doing the right things to continue living the best life possible. So enjoy the show, guys. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with everyone. People are going to want to watch this one. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Vince Perri. We are here, and I'm very excited today because we have a very special guest.
You.
Her name is Kelly Crowe, and she is the owner and entrepreneur, so that's why it fits the show, of Pathways of Florida, and she is a licensed mental health counselor, and I am so excited because I'm all about therapy.
Well, good. Me too.
Okay, good.
Love it.
Before we get into already the great conversation we were having, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Kelly?
Sure. I'm owner of Pathways of Florida here in Tampa. I've been in the field over 20 years, which is a little big number to say.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But I'm a mom of two, and got my master's at Nova Southeastern. I'm a super big dork when it comes to mental health. Love this stuff, live my passion, and just kind of doing the entrepreneurial thing.
I like it. I don't want to talk about entrepreneurship, though.
Good.
So we were just talking about now how naming it, and what I mean by naming it is I learned through therapy that there is I don't want to call it the devil or whatever it is, but there's definitely a limiting belief monster that's always kind of there. And luckily, I feel like I think I've tamed it a little bit, but I've definitely recognized it. I know exactly when that son of a bitch starts saying, this is not what you want, or you're not smart enough, or you're not capable, or all of these things. But what I didn't know is maybe my therapist told me, but maybe I don't remember. But you said that we should name it, huh?
Mm-hmm. When you name it, I call it my inner critic. When you have that inner critic, that part of your, I'm not good enough, this isn't good, or it causes anxiety or self-deprecation or whatever. It's called emotional distancing. So mine is Corella because she's mean and she's chaotic and she's horrible. So whenever I'm in that moment, because awareness is important, I'm like, Corella's on point, but what do I want to do?
Right.
And you can separate and do that emotional distancing. So it turns into she is versus I am.
Gotcha.
Because those I am statements are really harsh.
Now, you mentioned also that you would name also the emotion as well. See,
which is hard.
Yeah, my therapist would always tell me, she's like, well, what do you feel when those thoughts come in? And I told her, I don't know, I didn't really feel much. She's like, oh, but do you feel like hot, cold, or all these things? I'm like, I don't think I feel any of those things. Am I supposed to be feeling something? Or I just notice it. And then I'm like, no, get out of here.
Well, that's good to actually recognize and have that awareness.
Yeah.
But usually I say your body will tell on you first. I'm having a stomach ache, or my heart's racing, or I'm sweating, or I can't sleep, or I'm getting sick chronically. Your body's trying to tell you something. So it's you can name it that way before you can get to the emotional label. Because if you ask most people, what are you feeling? The most honest answer you're going to get right now is, I don't know. Right. Until you've done the work. And really, because this isn't natural. This is work. This is practice.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, forever and ever. So kicking it, your body's going to tell on you. So where do you feel it in your body? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it fast? Do you have a stomach ache? Even just the part of your body. Then you can start working on the naming it to tame it.
So I will tell you where for sure for me, where it was fucking 3:30 in the morning.
The what if, and everything running through your head.
3:30 in the morning, you just wake up and you just start, at least for me. I mean, although I will tell you, it's very common in entrepreneurs. I would tell other entrepreneurs about this. Oh yeah, me too. where 3:30 in the morning, I'll wake up and it's just like a worry monster. I'm just worrying about everything to the point even where when I finally do fall back asleep and I'll wake up the next morning, what I was worrying about was completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I would sometimes have like, I don't want to call it an anxiety attack, but it would be like just sweats and stuff.
Sure.
And it was awful.
You can't disconnect that mind and body.
Right.
So if you're having the worry monster just going, you're triggering fight or flight. Your body doesn't care what time of the night it is.
Yes.
So you have adrenaline and cortisol and 42 other chemicals cascading through your body. So you're not going to fall asleep when you're in fight or flight. Your body's saying you need to be awake and do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get the sweats or the heart rates or something, heart rate elevating, things like that.
So to try to help the audience, I mean, I could talk about it till I'm blue. I mean, luckily now I'm in a place, and what I love about therapy too, and I'm sure you're the same way, where my therapist is Jennifer. I don't know, I'm not saying her last name. Shout out to Jennifer. I'm definitely going to share this with her.
Yes.
She'll probably be mad that I didn't have her on.
Hi, Jennifer.
What was great about Jennifer is after like my rock bottom was end of 2023, 2024, where I'm not going to say stupid because I'm not supposed to have negative talk either, but my Venmo account got hacked, right? And I had like $7,500 in my Venmo account. The first thing is, who the hell keeps money in their Venmo account, right? Somebody gives you money on Venmo, what do? You transfer it to your bank account. And it got hacked. Money got taken away. I ended up getting it back. But when I told my wife about it, she just gives me this look of like disgust.
Oh, no.
Because I had been so overwhelmed by scaling the company, and it was just like so much going on. There was like 18 employees and I was all up in it. Like I literally coached to get out of your company and I was all up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she looked at me with this face and she literally said, she's like, you and I, because we were having, little issues just because of all the stuff going on. And she's like, you and I need to go see a therapist. And I look at her, I said, no, we don't need to see a therapist. I need to see a therapist. Because I knew I was fucked. Like it just wasn't right, The confidence was gone, all self-doubt, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was getting at was I thought it was great because honestly, it was probably going every week for like a good, probably 2.5 months. And she's like, you're good. Like I got to a good place. And there's been a couple times I've come back and we've, had a couple of sessions, but for the most part, I was able to do the work while not being with her as well. Like,
so important,
right?
So important. It's I think one of the most important things is you can do the work in the session, but what are you doing when you walk out that door? And that makes the biggest change.
I was a tennis coach for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
I used to say
volleyball.
I used to say the same thing where like, guys, I only have you for an hour a week. Like you got to practice.
Right.
If not, we're just going to be back to square one every week.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to try to break this down to like as best of a framework as you possibly can, like what is it that somebody comes to you, and let's use an entrepreneurial example, if that's okay, because I know that I could relate, where they're just overwhelmed, too much stress. For me, it was a complete lack of confidence, where on the outside, people thought that I was confident.
Right.
But on the inside, I had just self-doubt, a ton of limiting beliefs, didn't think I was capable. I mean, it was eating me alive. Like, what are some of the steps that you go through when you have somebody like that?
So first is really getting an understanding where they're at. What is that inner critic, where they're at? What's it saying? What's it doing? Why are we believing it? And where are some of the core things coming from? And also recognize, like, how are you coping with it? Are we just sitting there at 3:30 in the morning worrying? Or I like to focus on the what's before the whys.
Okay.
Because it hit me in my own therapy process. I had PTSD and it was why? And then it hit me and it was like, well, even if you know why right now, Kelly, it doesn't change what you need to do to feel better. So as you get an idea of what's working, what's not working, then we focus on the what. How do you calm your body? How do you understand those limiting beliefs? My big thing is I'm a mind-body person. How do you get your body closer to homeostasis between your nervous system, down checking that nervous system, then getting into the belief systems. Do we have unhelpful thinking patterns going on? And challenging and working on those. So we do the whole mind-body work so that we scale it that way. I say we come in and we look at your eating, sleeping, movement, all of that, and then do this scaffold of one step at a time. Especially for entrepreneurs, I am totally guilty of this. And I needed people to tell me for years, stop working in the business, start working on the business. I'm like, oh no, I can run to Walmart and get supplies, or I'm going to clean, or I'm going to do this. And I just was like, whoa, this is not where. So let me start where. Am I sleeping? Am I eating? What's the balance? How am I doing these things? And scaffolding, naming and taming. I'm feeling this way. What is it? What am I bringing of my own viewpoints or limiting into my business?
Interesting.
And we scaffold from there. Because if you go to therapy and someone says, do all this, you'll feel better, you're going to leave overwhelmed.
Right.
So it's kind of like how I approach the business as well. What is one scalable step at a time? Right. To be able to get there.
How much of what we're feeling and what we're thinking and our beliefs of ourselves, how much is rooted in childhood and trauma? And
I'm going to say we all have a story.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get presented with something in life, our brain goes like a little file cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
When did we last experience something similar? Repeat. And so what therapy can do is repair or repeat. And so we look at, well, why are we automatically repeating? What's a different response? So I'm going to say the majority of us, it's not to say, oh, my childhood was this, this, and this, but we come with a framework of life and a framework of ourselves that carry forward. And understanding that, accepting that, taking what's great, shifting what's not so helpful, it creates the greatest opportunity for growth and change.
Do you believe that our personality can also be as a result of previous generations?
Yeah, we have that transgenerational passing of values, of traumas, of belief systems. If you ask even some people like, well, why do you believe that? Well, that's what the rest of my family is. And from sometimes political viewpoints, religious belief systems, it's this passing down is this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, which are two words to get out of your mind.
I hate that.
Coulda, woulda, shouldas. Unhelpful thinking patterns. Basically, what it's telling you is what you're doing now is failing.
Right.
And
what was crazy to me was it took me a while. Like that negative thinking, it wasn't even in my conscious.
Right.
It was in my subconscious.
It's a subconscious.
Like I knew it, but I didn't think anything of it. And it was until I hit it head on and I was just like, wait, we got to get you here to here so that we could solve this, so that we could move it out of here.
And so often there can be a misbelief is that the conscious brain can override the subconscious brain. And it's vice versa. The subconscious will always win until you start to work on it.
Oh.
So often I see like, oh, well, logically I know I'm going to think my way through things. I'm like, we're going to experience, feel, and think our way through things, but it's not just a thinking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do to help change? I want to get into the subconscious. What do you do to help change the subconscious, or what do you suggest people do?
There are some suggestions of right before you go to bed or right when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You have kind of like, I call it the twilight zone. You're not fully awake. It's this beautiful moment where you're more susceptible. So I am a huge fan of a couple different things. One is visualization.
That's why I had you on. Yeah.
Is that
people hear that from me and they're just like, this guy doesn't know shit.
Our brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It's going to treat it all the same. You see this in pro athletes. You see this in Olympic where, they're sitting and they're visualizing making the catch, going down the slope, tennis, hitting the ball, whatever the serve. And so that twilight zone, when you're actually visualizing, and not just the sights, but it's how does it feel in your body? What is the emotion that it feels like when I fully accept love from someone or I accomplish something? What does that pride feel? What does that love feel? What does the acceptance feel? Because that starts to shift that subconscious. So right before you wake up, that kind of thing, or right before you fall asleep, you can think of any category in your life, financial, family, spiritual, whatever it may be, and really visualize yourself in that way.
It's been a game changer for me.
Total game changer. I actually used it in a different way because I definitely had Corella on point for some years of you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And you sit and you look for moments when you were good enough. And count like the opposite. What's a moment in this particular aspect or this area of my life that I actually felt in good enough? Sometimes that's a stretch, or in process of being good enough. And what's that feel like? And really go through the whole experience of it instead of like, oh yeah, that's weird. No, how does it feel?
What is the feels though? I don't get the feels.
Pay attention to your body. Do you release your jaw? You know?
I do when I meditate and stuff, and I visualize. Yeah, I like to. I have like my mouth.
Yeah, I have the
slightly
mouth open and doing that. Do you feel? I was one who chronically felt things in my stomach. Distress was stored in my stomach, so I would pay attention to that. Is there a difference there? I'm definitely a jaw clencher, so if that's going on, I want to release. But how does it feel just from an emotional perspective, to be okay?
Oh yeah, it's liberating.
It is the most freeing thing. And you don't have to go to rainbow glitter unicorn land. It's right now, I'm okay. So there's the sensorial aspect of feeling it in your body. But what we don't do well, especially in our country, is what's the emotions behind it.
Good buddy of mine, I'm actually going to have on the show. He is a bartender. He's got his own business selling sandwiches and a professional wrestler.
Love it.
And his brother is diagnosed schizophrenic, like really bad for the last, I don't know how many years. And he's on the forefront of mental health awareness, and he wears green and he does the whole thing. And he worked with, I don't know what association is down in Miami. And yeah, his thing is people don't really pay attention to it because it's not something that you can see.
Right.
I'm a huge proponent I remember I'm a big Miami Heat fan. And when we had LeBron and stuff like that and that whole thing, I remember it was when LeBron went to the Cavs and Kevin Love had like an anxiety attack on court. And everybody's like, oh, look at this rich guy who has all these things, is making millions of dollars. How does he going to have it? But it's hard because you think that they're soft or you can't see it.
Especially for men.
Oh God, yeah.
Especially for men.
Especially as a leader of an organization.
Absolutely.
Can't be weak.
Can't be weak. By age 12, we try to condition that out of our young boys. You can have a stuffed animal, you can have a best friend, but you turn around 12, stop crying. You're weak. You're poor. Man up. Suck it up. Put your big boot, embrace the suck, whatever it is. So we actually start to condition our young men and our boys to, you are weak for having feelings or expressing them. And it creates so many problems.
Really? Like?
Well.
Does it make them tough?
No. Well, they'll show you tough on the outside, but relating in relationships, the biggest predictor of financial success in your 30s is emotional intelligence by the age of 9 with cognitive control. So here we are, we're human. We are driven by emotions. You can't tie your shoe without your limbic system firing. And now we're saying they're wrong and everything you feel is wrong. And you just suck it up and you just be successful. And that's what you do as a young man. And it causes anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. You get that inner critic with comparison. I'm not good enough if my bank account isn't high enough. I'm not good enough if I'm not a CEO. All of those things. And then don't talk about it. Don't share it with anyone. Don't have a panic attack on the court, because that just means you're weak. So there's a lot of these messages that are so unhealthy.
I was always against going to see a therapist. Not against it, but I was like, I didn't need it.
Well, yeah, because there's this misperception, like I only need it if only weak people go, only crazy people go. I'm not crazy or weak, so why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm seeing a change though.
Well, what is it? Do you think the change is more people are more open to it? Or I am convinced as an entrepreneur and a visionary, I think the best business to own right now is a freaking therapy clinic. Because it's a mix of that, which you were talking about with no emotional intelligence. But I do feel like the onslaught of social media and technology has probably had a lot to do with it as well.
Absolutely. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. The fact that there's more awareness out there and younger people are seeing like it's okay and it's out there is great. Social media is very detrimental to self-esteem and developing brains and things like that. But the awareness and the talk is out there more, and I completely appreciate it. We do have a thing, like kind of a trend in our field right now where we have venture capitalists really investing into mental
so
health.
I'm right. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
And that's been, for me, I'm going to say it's been a bumpy road because there's been some that have been great and there's some that are profit over patient care.
Sure.
And protection of information. So I think there's opportunity for growth and understanding in there, as I always want to be, is for the best of the patient care. So, but there's been a lot of investments in venture capitalists lately.
How do you feel technology has been in social media? I mean, because you have a lot of kids, right? Patients?
Yeah, we work from 6 and above.
And do they deal with a lot of social bullying?
Yes.
Really?
And from a clinical perspective, and you hear like Esther Perel and other people in our field talk about it, the biggest depletion we have right now is of social skills.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. They're interacting with a machine.
Right.
You're not interacting with humans face to face. We don't learn empathy by interacting with a machine. We learn empathy on what did I say or do impact another person. Chronic anxiety coming in with our kiddos. What do you mean I have to call someone? Why can't I just text them? Interactions, there's literal times that we practice calling someone on the phone and talking to them because it's so anxiety ridden.
It's crazy.
That's an extreme, but there is that there. But the depletion of social skills, even all the way through adulthood, is a great concern for our field.
As a parent, I have to ask, how much is that to do with the social bullying, what's going on at school, the technology, and the parenting?
All of the above. Parents have such a huge role in regulating the access.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can I get away with this by actually being a good parent and being there for my child and communicating with my child and loving my child and all that stuff?
And letting your child fail.
Oh my God. I posted a video about that.
Please let your child fail.
I posted a video about that the other day where what were we doing? We were opening some kind of like thing with the thing and he's like, Papa, help me. And I'm just like, you can do it. Go, let me see you. And he's just working it. And then I like showed him like he has the thing and I showed you do it like this or whatever. And he ended up doing it. And it was like, wow, great job. And I posted a video. I said, I let my kid fail all the time.
Yes. That's how you learn self-esteem, resilience, grit.
That's why sports is great.
All of that. I'm a huge fan of sports.
Yeah, I know your kids are like pretty great athletes.
Yeah. I'll brag a little bit, but yeah. I got a jiu-jitsu wrestler and one who's finishing up her beach volleyball career.
It's pretty awesome.
So, and grit and resiliency. Honestly, it's therapy too. It was my therapy. I didn't have anyone telling me what I was feeling and why I was feeling it, what was going on, but I could go on that court and hit the ball as hard as possible and it felt good.
Right.
And it's physical release, which is so important.
Yeah. Well, you also learn how to lose.
Yeah.
Because you lose a lot more than you win.
You lose a lot and you get told no a lot more than you get told yes. And you can either just and walk off the court. You go, okay, I'm going to practice and get that starting spot or I'm going to win my next match.
What's some tips that you can give? Because I can't give them. My kid's only 3 years old, so he hasn't necessarily stepped out of the house. Although we do have him in a little Montessori like pre-K.
I'm a huge fan. My kids are Montessori kiddos as well.
Why do you like that? Why do you like the Montessoris?
It takes the whole child. It's not having, at least our experience has been, it's not having a child sit and regurgitate information. Children don't learn by sitting and regurgitating information. And it's nothing to do, it's not speaking negative of other school settings, but letting the child be curious, not capping them. This is the only thing you learn in second grade. If you want to learn something, go. But here's your plan. My daughter actually just said last night, she's graduating college a year early. If it wasn't for Montessori in teaching me how to do a work plan and planning out, I wouldn't have been as successful as I am now.
Interesting.
So getting all of those habits in place, but I love the whole child approach that we were a part of a Montessori that really emphasized social emotional development.
Okay. For example?
For example, they would come in and you can do this at 3. If you see that he's frustrated, name it. Wow, you're feeling frustrated right now. Or it looks like you're feeling angry. That's how we start to begin and learn our emotional language is what are our parents telling us? I'm this way. And I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, you look frustrated. Oh, frustrated goes to this feeling.
And not making fun of it.
And not making fun of it.
Yeah.
No.
I try to stay away from that. Every once in a while I'll catch myself. Why are you crying? Wah, wah. And I'm like, nope, don't want to be doing that.
So easy to say. And then we're like, ooh,
saying,
okay,
yourself.
You're feeling, if they're little, but you can start that as young. But the Montessori we were in, we're talking about, okay, when you feel this way, how do you problem solve? They called it the peace table. Most Montessoris have the peace table.
I can do this at 3?
Yeah.
problem solve.
Mhm. I mean, you're doing that by letting him fail.
Yeah.
If he's opening it, okay, this is working. So like, what do you think? What you can try? And it'd be like, I don't know. Like, oh, if I was trying it, maybe we try it this way. You
Right.
let me know.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not like giving a child a free rein, but giving them options to try.
Yeah.
So many times, do this, do this, do this, get on this, get on this. And when do our kids have time to explore? You know, or you have to get straight A's, which we all know valedictorians do not change the world.
Right.
They're beautiful human beings, but they're not necessarily falling into
Yeah.
entrepreneurial spirits or
Right.
things like that. But we have this heavy emphasis on grades, and you need to do all these hobbies, and you need to do all these sports, and you have to be the best. And no, just experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can start that at 3. They don't know the name for what they're feeling, but you can
Name it like a name, like we were talking about your
name the feeling.
Okay.
You look frustrated.
You look
Or
frustrated.
what? You look really proud right now, or
Yeah.
that's happy, or you look content and comfy and cozy.
Yeah.
That's how they start to get the language for their experiences.
Yeah. It's like the best. I love it so much.
I still do it now. Although I got a 21 and
Yeah,
16-year-old.
no. My 3-year-old's like he's awesome. Like he has his moments, but man, like I talked to somebody yesterday. There's like enjoy it because like that 3 to 5 range is like the best.
Love it. Well, each phase has its own,
Yeah.
and I think it's a mindset thing. Instead of going, oh my God, they're horrible teenagers, going, no, their brain is growing as
Exactly.
much as a 3 to 5-year-old. And who didn't do this?
Yeah, I have a
know.
huge advantage. I mean, I taught kids for 15 years.
Well, there you
feel.
go. Yeah.
I was always a pretty good coach, and I could always understand the kids. And I used to tell the parents, I used to get mad at the kids. I'm just like, their life is way harder than ours.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Way harder. Yeah, we've got to deal. Our biggest problem is probably what? Like money, like making sure that we have money, right? I would say, and whatever other issues that come with that, relationships. But like, man, they got to like learn. They have no really much autonomy because they have to do whatever their parents say
Right.
ultimately. Then they have to be cool in school and not get made fun of. And it's like, then they have to pass their test and get good grades. Speaking of school though, yeah, I'm totally with you. Like, I don't know how much, and again, he's only 3, but I could already see myself leaning towards this where I don't know how much I care whether or not he gets straight A's or anything like that. Like for me, that's not really a thing for me.
That's a good thing. Because then
I
we're
think
telling,
so.
then we're telling only perfection
Yeah.
is acceptable.
Or just
Perfection's
even like the best,
baseline.
like just pass.
My thing is effort.
Yes, absolutely.
Effort.
That was a big thing in
Was
sports.
there, yeah.
Yes.
Did we place effort? Because
Exactly.
if I look at, and my kids are polar opposite the way they approach school.
Okay.
Like my daughter, I'm going to do it. I'm going to grind and do it. My son is, I know it. So why do I have to prove it?
Interesting. Yeah.
The different
And either one
approaches.
is fine.
And both of them are fine.
Because they do what they got to do.
I, as a parent, have to step back and parent them different. Like I have to put a little gas pedal on my son. Like this is your paycheck for later. Like if you have long-term goals, which their brain is not designed to look long-term, these are the steps that we need to have in place so you have options later. It's not so you do this or you do that, but you keep the door open for options.
Right, right.
And like, hey, if you don't turn in your work, even though we know you know it, your grade's not going to be where you want it to be. And then for him, I just ask him, are you satisfied with your grades? He's like, nope. And then he's back on it again. It's not about whether I'm satisfied because it's never good enough,
So what is it that happens as an adult when we start to get to these, to these moments of just like rock bottom or mental instability or self-doubt or stuff like that? Like what do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of things. You have these inner critics, you have our stories.
Okay. I'll give you my example.
Okay.
My mom was a guidance counselor, elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, like I had the best parents growing up. I was really, really lucky. And, my mom's approach was I was never good in school. Like it was just, I literally did have to study a lot just to get decent grades. And I cheated a lot too. I was very social. So I had a lot of friends. So I was able to, find the person to cheat. Also, I was actually very good when the teacher would give the grades out before the report card, I was able to basically talk to the teacher and convince her to give me so that's where my skills
credit
are.
here, a little.
That's where my skills are. So my mom would always say, because I was always average in sports and average in school, she would always actually tell me to encourage me that like, oh, you're average. You're
Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah.
You're average. That's okay. Everyone else is there. Like don't worry, you're not stupid. You're not lower. You're average. So I grew up with this average thing. And one of the things we uncovered in therapy was I was always just like, it sort of put me in a place where I didn't think I was less than, but I don't know. I always felt like maybe I wasn't capable of.
Well, you're average. You're not above average.
Right.
So there's your box.
Exactly.
So
and she did it in a way to help me.
That's what happens with the interjection of things. We can try with
but how do we avoid that as parents? Like we can't, right? Like we could try.
We can try our best. Yeah. I think, I believe
one way or the other, we're going to cause a little bit of trauma, right?
I tell them my kids are going to be in therapy because their mother's a therapist.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And my daughter looked at me when she was 12. What do you know about managing emotions?
Right.
And I'm like,
really?
Nothing. I just like, she's supposed to think that.
Yeah.
I'm mom.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist or anything.
Sure.
I'm mom and she's mad at me right now. So, all right, baby girl, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Definitely paid off later in life now that she's 21 and 22. Like, okay, whoa, now I'm more thankful for you letting me do those hard things.
Oh, yeah. I came around big time. Like when I went to college and I went away for college, I missed mommy and daddy real much, a lot.
But the messages we receive when we're younger become you are statement. They're you are statements. And through a process of introjection, if I'm using the right word, they become I am statements. We look to the adults and the authorities of the world to kind of help us navigate. And so if they're like, you are average, we start to create this subconscious belief of I'm average. So why would I go for anything else? Because that's not possible. Because our brains are squishy and mushy and they're developing and they're, we don't have the ability to read nonverbal cues or make good assessments of risk until we're 25. Some research is now saying more than that.
Wow.
So, when we're younger, we think the sun rises or the sun sets whether we're good, whether we're lovable, whether we're worthy. And that starts to form our attachment systems, our subconscious, and the belief systems about ourselves and the world.
So we should avoid you are statements with our kids, even if they're positive?
No, it's just that understanding those negative statements come from a you are and they turn into our own inner critic or supportive I am.
Gotcha. Because we're trying to give him positive affirmations, tell him that, he's great and stuff like that. But I don't want to go too far with, I don't know.
Well, and what's really helpful is specificity. Because oh, you're great. They don't know what that means. Like, dude, you tried really hard and you opened that package. I really love that effort and trying. You did it when you can do hard things.
Yeah.
One kind of semi-famous in our family is I really pushed my son to do something he was feeling fearful of. And then he had a blast. And he even just said it the other day. Hey, Mom, when you face your fears, they could become fun.
Yeah.
Instead of being limited by that, it's paying off later. Not that I haven't said some things they're going to need therapy for, but it's giving, if you say, I really like that effort, I really like how you tried, and get a little more specific with it, then they know what you're talking about. If you say, good job, okay, yeah, but if you if you can be more specific with it, we just find it to be helpful because then they're going to repeat that more. Because I knew exactly what I got that praise for or I got that for, so I'm going to do more of it. And now what do? We create practice, we create habits, we create systems.
Love it. I love being a parent. I didn't think we were going to talk about that today. So where are we at today with, obviously therapy is much more open. I think there's many more people who are accepting of it. What's next with sort of your practice, the direction you're going in, and sort of where you see sort of therapy fitting in lifestyle and for people?
I am loving the fact that people are starting to see the science has been there, but now the social acceptance of the mind-body connection. And that we're not separate. And so I'm really thrilled with, and it's not new research, but it's being accepted more with psychedelic-assisted therapy. Not because we're going to sit and trip out. It's because neuroplasticity. We're really understanding that our brain is malleable and plastic just because something is in a habitual pattern or a neural pathway that we can't change it. So there's some really exciting things on the forefront and in practice now with PTSD, anxiety, depression, especially treatment-resistant depression, to really get the brain to use more pathways, to pull us out of some chronic issues. So I'm super excited about that.
I have a buddy of mine who did, I think he said 4 ketamine sessions with a therapist. And he said, he literally, what did he tell me? I got to take out the text, but he literally gained 10 years
Oh, yeah.
ahead. He's like 10 years ahead, and he got it all in like a month.
On average for they call it ketamine-assisted therapy, CAP, 6 to 8 sessions. Dosing sessions, I should say. And it just expands the brain to be more receptive, to work around limiting beliefs, because we get stuck in one of our pathways, which is the default mode network. And it's just kind of, I call it a yo-yo on a merry-go-round. It's the same things over and over again. And this helps us create other pathways, actually expands your dendrites. I will go dorky on this with you.
Okay, good.
And then you're more receptive to pushing through those limiting beliefs, pushing through those things and going, okay. Had a lady in and out of hospitals, suicide attempts, treatment-resistant depression for over 30 years.
Wow.
We did ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, and she came in last week. She comes in, we call it a Kelly check-in or reset, and we're done. Like, she's great. No recurrences, no relapses in depression, no thoughts of suicidality in over it's been about 7 years now.
Wow.
Retired, living with her kids, her grandparents, living the life she thought was never possible for her. And it was a result of ketamine-assisted psychotherapy. And it was so short term. We have people in therapy for years trying to get through some limiting beliefs. This allows the brain to open up and be more receptive. And like you said, 10 years gain, right? Like, she's getting busy living.
That's amazing.
So amazing.
You think people are going to be open to this?
I think there's going to be like, hey, we're not sitting here and tripping out. You know, the psychotherapy combined with the ketamine is very specific on what we want to work on, where we want to go, and how do we integrate it versus just sitting and.
So do you set like an intention? There has to be like an intention.
You can. There's a lot of.
He told me that you don't even need an intention.
You don't, because you're still going to get
Right.
potentially. I can't guarantee, everybody is different, but
Right.
insights and awarenesses and things like that. So we do let whatever happens happen, and then we integrate it to why they're coming in, what they're working on, how do we use those insights, those awarenesses, and their experiences.
Do you talk to them throughout the experience, or you just
Not
let
for
them
the
experience?
first hour. Let them experience it first.
Got
And then
it.
as they come, basically through, which is about 50, 60 minutes, really kind of checking and being where they're at. And then we do an integration session within 24 to 48 hours. We encourage them to go home and don't go to work,
Right.
but journal or process and write. And then we come back and really work on that.
Now that makes sense. My experience wasn't as good.
Yeah.
But then again, I wasn't sitting next to you during it.
Well, you'd still get benefits, but they're so generalized we don't know. But when we get the integration aspect and the therapy with it, I get super excited, and I think that's where mental health is going.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, it was a game changer for me, Kelly.
Yeah.
Just, not the ketamine, but just therapy. Like, it was such a true game changer. That, along with business coaching, and it's just, it's man, I'm like a whole different person.
I love it. And we feel better. Like, I tell
I
people.
sleep like a baby now, by the way.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, sleep is.
I do not wake up.
typically
On the
disrupted.
contrary, I'll wake up at 4:30, like ready to rock and
Go.
roll.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about the day.
That restful, restorative sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do too. I get excited about that now.
How much do you, we got just a few minutes, but how, when you talk to, let's say, an adult, do you ever find that there's also like maybe self-abuse, like alcohol and stuff like that? Because to me, that was another big one for me.
Alcohol, substances.
Drinking was just the worst thing for my mental health.
Oh, it is.
It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's so socially accepted. Like, oh, you're stressed, have a drink,
so
this
weird.
and that.
It makes it worse.
Yeah, it does make it worse. And especially even if you're dealing with sleep or you're getting stuck in your, default mode networks or other networks in your brain, it just reinforces that pattern. So, but there's coping in so many different ways. Overworking, substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, relationships, chronic, one way or another, difficulties in relationships. So there's so many things we think is coping that that is just kind of masking or exasperating.
So I'm going to end it with this.
Okay.
I want to throw it out there. Manifestation. We're
Yes.
talking about, you're going to have your new show called Pocket Kelly.
Pocket Kelly.
Okay. What would you say, Pocket Kelly, to someone? Let's talk to the entrepreneur. Overwhelmed. They're not sure, what's going on. They can't figure it out. I'll give you my example, just lack of self-confidence. They're just afraid that they can't succeed and overwhelmed and stuff like that. What would Pocket Kelly say to that person?
Practice the pause.
I love that. So true.
Mm-hmm. I practice the pause. Take a time to just reflect, plan, ask for help, support, whatever it is, but just pause. You're not going to make any decisions in reactionary mode.
Or just sit down and do nothing for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Pause.
That's a big thing that I figured out myself that I started doing. I'll go to the couch. I'll just sit down and just be like, I don't have to do something right now.
Yes.
There's a space in my calendar. I don't have to just do something. I can just sit down and just do nothing.
And understand that's self-care and not selfish. So, I'm being selfish. I'm taking time. No.
That's Pocket Kelly for you, everybody. Practice the pause and what?
Self-care versus being selfish.
See that? That's good stuff. Write that down, Travis. Kelly, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I
We
loved
could have,
it.
honestly, I could have gone for another 2 hours.
Me too. I appreciate it.
That was freaking awesome. Again, thank you so much. We'll have all your information in the description, so I don't have to end it with where can people find you. I'm sure people could find you, but you're here local to me. And again, I just appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.